Does that mean, let's go directly into Auburn here? They went on the road and they lost at Tennessee by 5. Wendell Green was a problem again, and not in a good way. He's shooting 27% from 3 in SEC play. When he's playing like that, Carter, can Auburn, where do you view them? Because I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't know if they're going to be able to find a way to get it done if that's the dude that's running the show.
Yeah, for me, it's the fact that he doesn't really have another style of play. But so basically, he's going to play the same exact way, which as a basketball player, I see that you want to play your game at all times. You don't want to be trying to do things that you're not used to doing. But also at the same time, some self-awareness has to come into play a little bit. You're not hitting shots, you're not making the right play. Maybe you should change things up for the betterment of the team. And also maybe that could help you, actually play a little better ball at the point guard position. So the fact of the matter is that's who Wendell Green is. And that's who he is for Auburn. You got to live with the greatness and you got to die with the low points. And right now it's not looking good.
He needs to read his own scouting report, because he doesn't know his scouting report. He thinks his scouting report is I'm Damian Lillard, and no, you're Wendell Green, right?
Right. It seems like every time he plays, it's like the defense is like, you can't shoot from there, and Wendell's like, yes, I can, and then he just misses. it's like you don't have to prove anything. They're like, go ahead, shoot it, Wendell. He's like, all right, I will.
That's the shot we want. That's the trick that you pull on everybody when you're at the park, right? Yeah, that's the shot we want.
Yeah.
Hell,
he's with us.
Watch this air ball, right? Step back 28-footer air ball. That's a brick. Yeah, it's a concern. But how much of that, Steve? How much of that do you put on Tennessee? You got to give them some credit for that. They found a way to turn this thing around. It looked like the wheels were going to fall off there for Tennessee for a little while. But they figured it out. I mean, the top 4 in this conference is probably, I would say, the best top 4 in any league in college basketball this season. Is that crazy to say?
No, I like these 4 teams. And then you've kind of got that wild card team in Alabama, that's capable of beating anybody when they're right.
Where'd you go to school, Steve?
In Tuscaloosa. But I really like Tennessee from the time I saw them in late August, early September. I love their coach. I love what he stands for, what he's about, the things that he values in a basketball team. And I think you saw that. That's why they're 12-4 in the SEC. And they've done a phenomenal job of really making a run late as well, like you just touched on. And to be honest, the way the schedule, if you really mapped out these teams' schedules, if Auburn slips up, they probably have the best schedule possibly, because they got a home game against Arkansas to really share the conference championship. Kentucky would have to get beat at Florida, but I really like Tennessee. I like their guard play. They've got the 2 smaller guards in Ziegler and Chandler, but they are tough up front. And they won this game, man. They dominated Auburn on the glass. They just physically dominated them on the glass. And and just that, but that's Rick Barnes. Toughness, rebounding, and defense.
Yeah. Sweeney, wrap it up with Kentucky. Are you concerned about them at all? Or is this just, life on the road in the SEC, life in Bud Walton Arena?
I still think they're a really good team, but I will say this. It seems like every game, it's a new excuse with Kentucky. When their guards don't play, it's, well, their guards didn't play. I guess the loss doesn't count. When they're healthy, they'll be good. Well, the guards played yesterday and they still lost, right? Sheboy gave them 30 and 20 and they still lost. I think Kentucky is an elite basketball team. I think they're in, top 5 to 10 team in the country. They have a real chance to go to a Final Four, win a national championship. But I think that at some point they have to win the big one. And they've had 2 big road opportunities against Tennessee and now against Arkansas, and they haven't gotten it done in either game. So look, I don't know what percentage Shavir Whaler and Ty Washington were yesterday, but they had those guys out there that played normal minutes and they couldn't quite get over the hump. So I do want to see Kentucky get that elite win before we put them in that true they're the best team in the country conversation.
Yeah, I do think there's something to be said about the fact that you mentioned it earlier. The way to slow down Purdue is to slow down Sasha Stefanovic, right? Well, maybe the way to slow down Kentucky is to run Kellen Grady off of the 3-point line. I think he took 3 shots the other night. They were face guarding him. They didn't let him get it going. They played off of Shavir Wheeler. They played off of Keon Brooks. And to me, that was just kind of what it was. Like you take away the space for everybody else. You don't like Kelly Gray to get shots going, and you just kind of say, hey, look, if we're going to get beat by Oscar Tshiebwe twos and offensive rebounds, we're going to get beat by Oscar Tshiebwe twos and offensive rebounds. All right, I'm going to put each of you guys on the spot before we head to our next break here. Steve, who is the most likely team out of the SEC to get to a Final Four? One word answer.
Auburn.
Sweeney.
Arkansas.
Ooh. Carter.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I'm landing on Kentucky with that one too. I'm going to stick with Kentucky. I'm going to say they still have a ceiling.